Let's root our sit bones into the earth. And just feel the weight of your lower body just really rooted into the floor. And let your spine grow up nice and tall. Check in with your shoulders and your neck, your jaw. Make sure everything is nice and relaxed. Let your eyes close and let your gaze go up to your third eye, that point in between your brows. And we're going to place one hand on our forehead. Your forehead is like your pause button. This is a great tip for kids. Whenever you feel like you're overwhelmed or losing control of your emotions, just a simple act of pressing on your forehead can really help calm you down. It floods the front part of the brain with blood, and it's very soothing. So press on your pause button. Take a moment to notice any thoughts that might still be swirling and let them settle down to the base of your brain. Like snow in a snow globe, just gently falling down. And on an exhale, let them swirl out and away. And then place your hand on your heart. Both hands can come if you prefer. And feel as though you're hugging your heart. You're supporting your heart. A lot of us are not getting a whole heap of contact with other humans these days, so just really draw someone in that you have missed and feel as though their hand is on your heart, or maybe their heart is with your heart, like you're in this beautiful hug. And feel all the feelings that might come up just by connecting to someone you haven't connected with in a while. And draw the person from before from the list, their family, all their loved ones who mourn them every day. Draw them into just one big, huge group hug. And then place your hands on your belly, your gut, the place of your knowing. And get a sense of, what do you know right now? What do you know in your soul? What do you know in your bones? Drop deep down into that knowing. And feel your breath start to become aware of it flowing in and out. And when we're truly breathing, on an exhale, you'll feel your hand move in with your abdominal muscles towards your spine. And then your abs release and your belly balloons open with breath. Your hand moves out. So just take a few breaths to notice that. Exhaling, everything hugs into the body. Inhaling, big Buddha breath all the way down into your belly. So you actually have 3 brains in your body. You have your head, the thinking brain, and you have your heart, the feeling brain, and you have your gut, the knowing brain. And if we can check in with these 3 every day, we will function at a much higher level than when we're just reacting out in the world. We're gonna chant a mantra to tune in. If you've never heard it before, no worries. I'm gonna chant it 3 times. If you feel like you've got it, then join me. Otherwise, just listen and let it soak in. It's called the Adi mantra, and we tune into ourselves, but we also tune into this golden chain of teachers who've walked this earth and have just tons of knowledge. So we're inviting their wisdom in with us. And the words are Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. So we're going to rub our palms together, generate some heat, wake up the nervous system, and then we're going to anchor them at our heart center. Again, really rooted into the earth with your sit bones, nice long yogi spine. Palms pressed together so the heart opens. A slight tuck at the chin so that the neck is nice and long. And we'll exhale deeply and then inhale to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. We'll take a moment to set an intention for this class. What did you come here seeking? How do you want to feel at the end? And then we're going to open our eyes, place your hands on your shins, and you're going to inhale and reach your chest through. Exhale, you're going to curl your spine. So moving with your breath just to wake up the spine. We're rocking and rolling on our sit bones, using the pelvic floor and the core muscles to help us. So let it lead from your solar plexus. And then come back up to a neutral spine. We're going to extend our arms out, palms face up. And then thumbs are going to go behind and fingers in the front. There you go. And then you're going to inhale to the left and exhale to the right. So just rotating, waking up the mid-spine, the shoulders and neck. So you're going to gaze over that back elbow. All right, come to the center. So place your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And you're gonna exhale, curl, and inhale, cow. So exhale, draw your head and your sit bones down. Inhale, drop the chest through the shoulders, lift the head, lift the sit bones. So tune into your breath. Let your breath guide your body, and take the whole inhale to cow, and the whole exhale to cat. Come to the center, to a neutral spine. Gaze over your left shoulder to your left hip. See curve in that spine, breathe into all the ribs. And then come over to the other side. And then come to the center, tuck the toes and find down dog. So if your legs are tight, your heels may not reach the floor. Just pedal your legs to kind of warm up your feet, warm up your legs. Especially the hamstrings. Warm up the hips. You can shoot one hip back and let it sink back for a while. And then switch sides. We can inhale onto the toes. Really feel the creases of the toes where they meet the feet. And then exhale, lower down your heels. Do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. And exhale, lower. And walk your feet up to meet your hands. Deep bend in the knees. And fold over yourself. Your hands can clasp your elbows. Exhale, exhale, exhale everything out. And a deep breath in. Release your hands. Roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Shoulders come up and then relax down the spine. Palms face forward. Take a moment to stand. Connect with your breath. Inhale up to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale halfway. Right leg comes back. Find a lunge. Stay here and breathe for a moment. And then the back edge comes down. We're going to find warrior 1. So first, plant your hands on your hips so you have a nice solid foundation. And then arms come up. And then come into warrior 2. So opening up sideways. Shoulders are right over the hips. We're going to flip that front palm. We're going to go peaceful warrior. So look up, lift up, even as you sink down with your legs. Come back through warrior 2. We're going to straighten the front leg and come into triangle pose. So the hand can be on the shin or on the inside of the front leg. There you go. Come back to warrior 2. Cartwheel yourself down, so you're going to find your lunge 1 more time. Plant those hands, find your plank. The knees can come down at any time. You're going to chaturanga, which is a half push-up. And then you stay there and use your toes to push yourself forward into a cobra. And then come into down dog. Go. And stay here for 3 breaths. The right leg is going to come up to the sky. You're going to stack your right hip over your left and bend your knee. Soft bend in the standing leg. Then you're going to reach your leg back up, square your hips, hover and find your lunge. There you go. Springboard yourself forward, standing forward bend. And then inhale to come up. Arms come all the way up to the sky. Little back bend if you like. And then hands to your heart. So that was the right side. We're going to do it now on the left. And then we'll do that whole cycle 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, left leg comes back, lunge. Left edge goes back, warrior 1. Beautiful. Exhale, warrior 2. Yeah. So make sure your front knee is not going over your toes. You want your front knee right over your ankle. A right angle is going to give you that support in the knee. Yeah, there you go. Flip that front palm and surrender. Peaceful warrior. Like all those beautiful protesters, peacefully protesting. Come back to warrior two. Now we straighten the front knee, triangle pose. Yeah, beautiful. So your hips are kind of at a diagonal, so your spine can come straight out. Yeah. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Find that lunge one more time. Come into your plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. And down dog. 3 breaths here. Then left leg comes up to the sky. Open up, stack your hips, bend your knee. And straighten your left leg. Come through your lunge. Spring forward. Standing forward bend. Again, clasp your elbows with your hands. Stay here for a moment. You can shake your head, yes, and shake your head, no. And then halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, root to rise, arms all the way up. And hands at your heart. So just take a moment to see how you feel. Bring back your intention. Bring back the person who you're sharing this practice with. And then we're going to do that whole thing 2 more times. So hopefully it'll get into the muscles and the bones. All right, inhaling up, rise up, exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, right leg comes back. Warrior one. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Triangle pose. Warrior two. Cartwheel yourself down. Chaturanga, cobra. Breathe all the way to the top of the breath in this cobra. And then tuck your toes, down dog. 2 breaths here. Make them as long as you can. Then the right leg comes up. Stack the hips, bend the knee. Straighten the leg. Find your lunge with the right foot forward. Spring forward, standing forward bend. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. And hands at your heart. Left side, rise up. Fold. Inhale up. Left leg lunge. Warrior one. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Triangle pose. Warrior 2. Find your lunge. Chaturanga. Cobra. And down dog. So left leg comes up, stack the hip, bend the knee, three-legged dog. Left comes up. Find your lunge. Spring forward, standing forward bend. And then halfway up, exhale, fold. Root to rise, and hands at your heart. So I'm going to try to do that series, both sides in silence. Yoga tip, if you are bending forward, you're exhaling, and if you're extending back, you're inhaling. So if you're ever confused about which to do, if you're folding forward, you exhale. If you're reaching back, you're inhaling. Come to the top of your mat, find your hands at your heart. Every single beautiful soul had a story and a family, and so let this be a beautiful, silent, moving meditation. So now we're going to take a straddle on our mats. Hands on the hips. We're going to fold forward and let your hands catch you on the floor. And just let your head sink in between your feet. And walk your head over to your right side. Walk your hands over to your right side. Stretch out your hips. And then come through the center and walk over to the left side. And hands are going to come out in front of your face. And you're going to just bend your right knee, kind of like a half squat. And really breathe into that left hip that's extending. And then come through, shift over to the other side. So send your breath wherever is tight. You can use your breath to help open up the body. Switch over to the right side one more time. And the left. And this time we're going to come back over to the right, but we're going to kind of bend our knee even more. Let the left toes point toward the ceiling, so you're going to sink into a deeper squat. And then Spider-Man walk yourself over to the left. And again, one more time. You spend as much time as you need to. Just take a couple deep breaths in each side. And left. And then come back up to the center. Again, let's put your left hand right in front of your face so you have a nice long spine. The right arm comes up to the ceiling. Try to keep your hips square and then twist open to the right. Right hand comes down in front of the face and the left arm comes up. Left arm comes down. Walk yourself back to the center. Hang down one last time. Hands come to the hips. And then inhale, come back to stand. You can heel toe your feet together. However you wish. We'll take a tree pose. So root your right leg into the earth. The left foot goes on the right thigh. And feel like you're standing on both feet equally. Hands come to prayer. Find a gaze in front of you that's not moving and let your eyes rest. A calm gaze brings a calm mind. And then when you got your balance, feel free to play or sway. And if you fall out, just come back in. But just find your center. And test your center. Coming back through to heart center, release and shake out. And then root through the left leg, find your tree.
one side might be more solid than the other. It's fine, just giving us information. And then coming out, shake it, shake it. We're gonna root through the right again, and this time we're gonna hug our left knee up. And then the hands are gonna come up to the heart. We're gonna lift them up to the sky. Then they can come back to the heart if you're having a hard time balancing, or they can just stay extended. You're gonna come into a warrior 3. And then you're gonna come back into your flamingo. So we're gonna go a total of 3 times. Good core work. Move slow like you're doing Tai Chi. If you fall out, just come right back in. This is very challenging, so just be really patient with yourself. And when you're done, shake it out. Nice. So plant that left leg, right knee comes in. Find your flamingo, and then using your breath and your focus, go as slow as you need to maintain balance. Awesome. Fantastic. Let that foot come down and shake it out. Okay, we're gonna come down to sit on the mat. Move your bum flesh away from your sit bones. And we're just gonna work on hinging at the hips. So I don't want you to sink into the low back. I want you to be up on your sit bones, nice and tall, long spine. And we're just gonna kind of practice hinging forward and back. And this kind of helps to lubricate the hip joints. If your hamstrings are super tight, you can always bend your knees. Just a smidge. And then we're gonna come back, arms come straight up, nice long spine, and then try to keep your spine as long as you can until you feel like it wants to bend. Put your hands down, and then just let your head go. Relax your jaw, and let gravity have you. Keep trying to draw your heart towards your toes, so the stretch is in the hips and not in the back. Feeling your heart rate come down. Every exhale, you might sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Every inhale, you breathe into wherever feels tight. Send it some love. And then come sit up nice and tall. We're gonna come into a pigeon pose. So if you have a blanket or a pillow that you can put under your right hip, I like to do that. There's 2 options. If you don't have a blanket or a pillow, you can just do it with a straight knee. If you do, I like to put it at an angle, and then the front leg is kind of trying to be perpendicular or parallel with the front of the mat. You're gonna flex your right foot fiercely and let your back leg just come straight back. So hands at your hips and puff your chest out nice and big. And then when you're ready, you're gonna slowly walk your hands forward and take your time with this. Let gravity help you. Breathe into wherever is feeling tight, pulled, stretched. And then as you exhale, you might lower down a little bit more. So take it in baby steps. This can be a really intense pose. Relax your face and relax your jaw. Relax your head. Melt as much as you can into this pose. Find your breath. Breathe deeply into wherever is calling for breath. And then you're going to walk yourself up. Find that king pigeon one more time. You're going to swing your left around. And then move your pillow flex that left ankle fiercely to protect your front knee. Find your hands at your hips. Sit up nice and tall. So huge stretch for your psoas. And then when you're ready, start to walk yourself forward. Again, connecting with your breath. Every time you breathe in, oxygen goes into your lungs and transfers into your heart. And then your bloodstream carries that oxygen to every cell in your body. So you can breathe into any cell that you want with a little attention and intention. So send some love and some prana, some oxygen to wherever in your body is calling for it. And when you're ready and you feel like you've done both sides equally, walk your hands back to your hips. And swing that leg around. We're going to move the blanket off to the side. And we'll do just 3 bridges to close. So place your whole spine on the mat. Root your feet in. Root your hands into the earth. And lift up. Squeeze your knees, lift your hips. And roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Let your hips touch the mat. And then lift them back up. Squeeze the thighs together, lift those hips. Feel like you're engaged in the whole pelvic region and your abs, your thighs, your glutes. And then 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling down top to bottom, the hips hit. Last time, lift up. The hands can clasp behind the back. Roll to the outside of the arms. And then release your hands, roll down. Let's hug our knees into our chest. Gives ourselves a big squeeze. Maybe bring that friend or person that you called in earlier. Just give everyone a big, huge hug. And then draw your right knee in, extend your left. Right knee comes over to the left side. Reach your right arm out. Spinal twist. Hug your right knee in. Scissor kick, so now your right's extended, left is bent. And draw your knee over. Extend the opposite arm. And then hug your left knee in. Extend both legs and come into Shavasana. This is the dessert. So let the floor support you. Let your muscles relax. Let your bones sink into the floor. Feel all your connective tissue just melt away. Release your skin. Quiet your mind and just focusing on your breath. Let everything else go. Come back into your physical body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Give yourself a big stretch. Raise your arms up over your head and feel how long you are from your toes to your fingertips. And then curl yourself into a ball one more time. One more big hug. Send hugs to our whole community that's hurting so deeply right now from all the chaos that's happening. Roll over onto one side and rest on the floor in fetal position. Your lower arm can support your head. And let Mama Earth have you. Let her hold you. And then let your upper arm help you back up to sit. Just gonna close. Exercise that's really energizing. It helps get rid of negativity and toxins, and it helps just energize and pull
all the good stuff that's out there into your body. So the trickiest part about this is we got to do breath of fire. So your hands are going to go to your belly just to learn how to do this. We're going to start by panting like a dog. You're going to stick your tongue out just because that's how we know how to pant. We've all seen dogs pant. And you're going to feel your belly go in as you exhale and release as you inhale. And you want your breath to be even coming in and out. As you start to get it, you can close your mouth and then your breath is just going to come through your nose. And you can speed it up once you kind of get the hang of it. So your arms are going to extend up to 60 degrees. You're going to bend your fingers so they're touching the pads of your hands. And then you're going to stick your thumbs up as if they're antennas into the heavens, just calling whatever you want into your life. This is called ego eradicator. So we're tuning into our higher self so that we bring the purest, best stuff into our lives. Slow your breath down. Inhale deep. And then tense every muscle in your body. Hug all your muscles around all your bones. Squeeze your pelvic floor in and up. Your abs towards your spine. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then exhale, release. And then inhale deeply. This time just feel all the space in your body. Feel the breath circulating. And then you're going to try to find your thumbs to touch above your head. And then extend your fingers up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to sweep through, take up space. And then hands can come into prayer. So you take up so much more space than you actually, just your physical body does. So just don't be afraid to be big and be bold. Take up the space that you need. Especially since you're caring for other humans, it's really, really, really important to take up the space that you need. Fill yourself up so you have extra to give away. So take a moment just to observe how you're feeling right now, how your body feels. Again, check in with your mind. Check in with your heart. Check in with your gut. And as we bow down to seal in our practice today, may we bring all the lives lost senselessly in with us. One more last beautiful big group hug. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.